Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a story that starts right at the beginning of everything. It's a story from the book of Genesis about intentional love and about a world that was carefully and beautifully prepared for us. So, let's get into it.
You know, it's one of the biggest questions we ever ask ourselves, isn't it? Why am I here? What's my purpose? Well, this ancient story offers a really profound answer. It suggests that our existence isn't some random accident, but actually the high point of a grand, loving design.
So our story picks up not on day one, but on the sixth day of creation. The stage has already been set, the lights are up, and the world is just about to be filled with life in this breathtaking display of divine art.
With the oceans and sky already in place, God turns his attention to the land. And Genesis describes this incredible burst of life, all the livestock, the wild animals, every little creature that crawls on the ground. And after each part, you hear this wonderful repeating line where the Creator looks at what he's made and says, "It was good."
And right here is where the heart of the story really comes through. All of this amazing creation, the mountains, the oceans, all the animals, it wasn't just a series of disconnected events. It was all a careful, intentional preparation. It's a lot like how loving parents would get a nursery ready, just waiting for their new child to arrive.
And now we get to the moment the entire story has been leading up to. After filling the sea and the sky and the land, there's this pause, and then a really unique and powerful declaration. This is the moment humanity finally steps onto the scene.
Notice how the language completely changes here. Up until this point, God had said, "Let there be." But now it's this personal, almost collaborative statement, "Let us make." This is a huge signal that something totally different, something profoundly special is about to happen. So what makes this moment stand out so much? Well, it really comes down to three things. First, it kicks off with that intentional language we just talked about. Let us make. Then you have this incredible statement that humanity is made in God's own image and likeness, which suggests we reflect the divine, in our ability to create, to love, to make moral choices. And finally, we're given this special role, not to dominate, but to be loving stewards of all creation.
And if we geek out on the grammar for just a second, it reveals so much. In the original Hebrew, that phrase, "let us make," uses a special form called the cohortative. Now, this isn't a casual suggestion, like, hey, maybe we should. No, this is a declaration of deep intention, of firm resolution. It's basically God saying, with everything ready, with full purpose, now is the time. So, what does it really mean to have this special role? To be made in God's image, and to be entrusted with all of creation? Let's explore that purpose a little bit more.
Some translations use phrases like rule over or have dominion, and it's so important to understand this isn't about selfish power or exploitation. The real meaning is one of loving care and responsible stewardship. Think of it like being given a priceless piece of art to look after. Your job isn't to own it, but to care for it, to appreciate it, and to protect it, because it's a precious gift. The book of Psalms just captures this idea so beautifully. The writer looks up at the vastness of the stars and the heavens and asks, "What is mankind, that you are mindful of them?" And the answer is just astonishing, that we've been crowned with glory and honor, given this incredibly dignified and valued place in the universe.
But as the story goes on, we know that this perfect harmony, well, it didn't last. Humanity chose to turn away from God, and that beautiful relationship of trust and love was broken. The blessing was lost, and the world was fractured.
But the story doesn't end in that brokenness. In what you could call an even greater act of love, God kicks off a second plan. A plan for redemption. A plan for a new creation. A second great declaration was made, not with words in a garden, but through powerful, loving action.
Remember that feeling of perfect timing in the creation story? That sense of everything being fully prepared? Well, the Bible uses that exact same idea to talk about salvation. After centuries of preparation, God acted again at the absolute perfect moment in history.
So you see, the New Testament echoes that theme from Genesis. Just as God prepared the world for us, He prepared us for a Savior. This verse from Galatians makes it so clear that Jesus' arrival wasn't random at all, but the fulfillment of a perfectly timed, loving plan.
When you look at these two great acts of God, they just mirror each other so beautifully. There's this incredible symmetry. Just as creation came into being through God's spoken word, our salvation comes through Jesus, who the Bible calls the living word. Both are perfect works, and at the core of both of them is the very same motivation, a deep, unconditional love.
So we have these two huge, world-changing acts of love. One that gave us our first life, and another that offered us a new life. The final part of the story, then, is all about us. It's about our response to this kind of overwhelming love.
The whole narrative really unfolds in these three movements. First, God's loving resolution, let us make man. Then, in response to our brokenness, God's redeeming action, which you could say is, let us save man. And when we're faced with this incredible love, a love that first created us and then rescued us, the story invites our own heartfelt resolution. Let us love the Lord. It's a call to respond to love with love and to complete the circle of this beautiful, timeless story.